Hello and welcome to Wednesday round 5. We are going to rock out this report to the sounds of Chester Bennington and Lincoln Park. We start with Callum Jones's struggle to pass John Magnet in the early stages of race 1. He was desperate to make the move earlier so he could tag onto this leading trio. Small attempt there into the hairpin, bit of a tap on the way in, no harm done, but it wasn't until lap 3 that he made this move down into turn 1. Quite an assertive dive. John had good speed on the exit but eventually concedes the place as Callum slides and slots his kart into 4th place. Those opening laps allowed this trio to break away into a race of their own. Alex Harding had done well to qualify on pole, but this run from Tom Kitchener and the door being left open by Alex allowed Tom a dive down the inside to take the lead. Jamie tried to follow, no gap there as Alex closed the door, small bit of oversteer but no harm done. A few laps later and Tom is now on the defensive. All of a sudden this was becoming quite a fight, Jamie nearly losing the kart there into braking on turn 1. A lot of the action was happening at this corner until Alex decided to start changing his tactics and have a go at some of the more unorthodox corners around Sutton Circuit. As Alex continually tried to line up a move on Tom, Jamie was trying to do the same to him. This run down the main straight was one of the best opportunities for both of them. As Alex switches to the outside, Jamie tries to get in the gap left at the apex but just doesn't have enough momentum on the exit. However, as the race draws to a close on the very last lap, he is much closer, and as events unfold in much the same way, he tucks himself right behind Tom's bumper going through turn 1, draws out on the exit on the right hand side, has the inside for the light bulb, bit of rubbing on the way through, and as they go through the switch, Jamie has taken the place. So as the flag falls on an eventful race 1, Alex finishes 3rd, Callum would keep the 4th place, with Tom taking the win. Can anyone beat this man in race 2? So as the sun begins to set, away they go for race 2. In the bottom right we've got the footage from Todd White. He had a pretty uneventful race 1. And I want to take a moment here to make mention to a couple of the newer faces we've seen in the group. Just in front of Todd there in your bottom right is Jonathan Caddick, and a couple of spots ahead of him in 2nd place is Callum Field. Leading the pack though is Noah Timington, who had an amazing qualifying to get himself into the top group. Now Tom makes an absolutely kamikaze dive down the inside of the hairpin here on the opening lap. Jamie trying to take advantage of Alex in the process as well, putting 2 wheels on the grass, and he's going to go wheel to wheel with Tom up the back straight as we switch on board with Todd as Jonathan makes a mistake coming out of the final corner. Todd gets on his right hand side, they go side by side down the main straight. Jonathan's got the legs but Todd's experience allows him to brake late. There's a bit of brushing on the way through the apex but he gets the job done into 4th place. Just ahead of him is Simon Lee, right on the back of that leading duo. Now Tom actually got a drive-through for that dive he made a few moments ago. It turns out he actually hit the cone on the way through, something that would become a bit of a theme during this race. Alex draws level with Jonathan as they come out of the hairpin and go through the loop. Jonathan was beginning to get shuffled down the order at this point. He gives Alex a bit of a squeeze to the outside of the circuit, which Alex isn't happy about. Jamie, however, is happy to take advantage of that little incident and drive up the inside through the final corner. Back on board with Todd then, and he's beginning to catch the leading group. As they shuffle for position, Simon slots himself into 2nd place ahead of Callum. Further behind it's Jamie's turn to have a go at passing Jonathan, and as they come out of the switch on the run up to the hairpin, he has a good look, but he gets caught out by how early Jonathan brakes and nearly loses the car as he makes a late decision to pass. That allows Jonathan to try a cutback manoeuvre, and as they go around the loop, they emerge side by side onto the back straight. Holding the inside line into the final corner, Jamie is able to keep Jonathan at bay, but with a little shake of the head, he's disappointed that little skirmish has cost him so much time. At the front, Todd was having a look at Callum Field for 3rd place, while Simon was doing the same on Noah Timington, trying to take the lead. As they go through the switch up to the hairpin, Simon has a little glance at Noah, and even though there's not much room, has a dive anyway, locks up, kicks the back end out, and because he went so wide, it allowed Todd to try and undercut back. Now you can see here from onboard Jamie, this gaggle of karts that has sort of coalesced behind the leading group. Now this condensed state of the field is going to cause some pretty intense racing to occur, and where carts are close, somebody is always going to come out disappointed. Now down into turn 1, Todd is going to try and have a go around the outside of Noah here. He doesn't quite make it stick, and that helps John Magner get involved in the action, scything his way in front of Simon. Callum Field goes out wide, which allows the other Callum to cut up the inside. Jamie tries to stick it around the outer line of the switch, and as they all converge on the hairpin, Jamie goes slamming into the side of Simon, pushing him broadside out of the hairpin after getting touched himself. That allows Alex to dip back up the inside, and after the dust has settled on that chaos, all I know is Noah Timington is still holding second place. Simon and Callum Field were the unfortunate parties during that incident, and even though they were in different classes, it was only going to get worse for them in this race, as Alex goes down the inside into turn 1 and Jamie cleanly follows through. Now if you turn your eyes a little further up the road, you can see the 4 carts battling it out for the lead. That's Todd White, who had passed Noah, and John Magner there trying to have a go at Noah up the inside to the hairpin, but in failing to pull the move off, he leaves himself exposed, probably not for the first time, to Callum Jones to go up the inside of the loop and move himself into the podium positions. Now I want to bring your attention to a key moment in this race, because Todd White is about to get a drive-through. We're going to pause the footage and switch on board with Todd as he goes through the light bulb. Now this is a close one, as were most of the 5 drive-throughs that occurred during this race. He misses the first one, misses the second, but that's where I think he hits the cone, and sure enough, a few laps later he's given the board by Wayne and serves his drive-through penalty, losing the lead. But I think it was a close one, because we're going to switch back on board with Jamie here, and as Alex and Jamie follow them through, you can see as they approach that exact cone, there's almost no movement of it away from the edge of the circuit, with a total of 5 of those happening during the race. Did it taint the final result? That one is open to debate, but we're going to go back on board with Jamie and join the fight between Alex and John Magner. John had proven himself a bit of a wall throughout the season, and Alex was finding him difficult to pass. As they head down into turn 1, resolute defending from John Magner, a bit of oversteer from Alex through the apex. Now this next one, John makes a small jink to the right as Alex tries to set in the dummy. Nothing too untoward, but maybe a subconscious movement. Now as they go through the hairpin, Jamie has a little look back, and that shadow right there is Tom Kitchener. He has somehow managed to catch up the leading carts from his drive-through that he took on lap 2. Now what happens next is what Tom would describe as a contender for pass of the season. As Jamie and Alex lock up, Tom goes sailing around the outside of them both coming out of turn 1. Alex isn't quite so willing to give up his place, so nearly hits the cone, and as Jamie tries to come back too, he has a small glance against the cone on the exit. Due to him not realising he'd been given a drive-through penalty, a lap after this, the action would once again get spicy, as Tom, lining up a move on Alex, makes a dive down the inside. As Alex moves to the right, there's a bit of contact. John has a terrible exit anyway, and the carts form up in a sort of quad. Alex kicks up some grass on the exit of the loop. They charge down the back straight side by side, and as they go into the final corner, Alex gives John a tap, sending him way out wide. Jamie and Tom wrestle it through the apex, not giving an inch. There Jamie gets a signal that he's got a drive through. He's going to race this one out anyway, and this is what I think is the best move. Tom breaking late down the outside, and how he didn't touch going through that apex there, I have no idea. Top class driving at its finest. As this race draws to a close, Todd is still stuck in a battle in the midfield between Simon and Jonathan Caddick. Jamie comes in to take his drive-through penalty, and the flag falls with Callum Jones winning the race, Alex and Tom rounding out the podium, Todd 7th, Jamie 8th. That's a wrap. See you next time.